Welcome, everyone. Please put on the chat how you all are doing today. And what is it you're looking forward to today's session? What was it that caught your eye? I wrote a lot when I marketed this program, how to not lose yourself. And I had many intentions with this. Mostly, I just left it to the universe. I got the guidance to just host a session, a free session called How to Not Lose Yourself. Unlike last week's webinar, we put in a little bit of effort in terms of channeling what needs to be shared and what people need to receive from it. But this time, it was purely flow based. So I just want to understand what about seeing the poster or knowing that this webinar is going to happen and you join. What about it actually caught your eye? Why are you here? What is your intention? Sleepy. It's 2 a.m. Wow. That's commitment. You will get the recording, by the way. But a lot of people don't watch the recording. So please put it in the chat. So to understand how to understand what it means to lose oneself, you need to first understand what it means to have oneself, what it means to hold space for oneself. Okay. Nina says, doing okay, really looking forward to the session. I have not set any intention, but you love attending the webinars. Thank you. Sheena says, you're doing good. That's great. Not losing yourself when it comes to prioritizing yourself. Okay. Intend to prioritize other. I tend to prioritize others than myself and so want to clear that. Okay. Rumi says, I basically want to understand myself and accept as I am. Perfect. That's basically what today is about. When we have ourselves, we tend to hold space. We tend to hold space for not just us, but we tend to hold space for the community as well. But when we lose ourselves, we tend to also withdraw from people. We tend to disconnect. We tend to get anxious. So we have this tendency in the self help community that pain, challenges, disagreements, all of that will cease to exist if we are super strong. To have oneself actually means not removing the challenge or removing the stress, but it's to have a high level of tolerance. That means how much am I willing to put in before I turn off the screen? How much work do I do before I turn off the screen? How many voice notes do I send before I decide it's time to stop and go to the next page, next activity? You don't have to say bye. You can just get back to that activity later. So, how much is tolerance? What we tend to do is practice endurance, which is how long are we going to take the same nonsense or the same behavior from someone else? How long are we going to remain undisciplined? We think we learn through endurance. Like, I've done this for so long, for 7 years, I've been doing this. I cannot just leave it all behind and start anew. That's endurance. That's not a virtue. That's never healthy. Okay. For me says, do what I can for others without losing my core. Okay. For that, you need to know what your core is. Most people here don't know what their core is. Okay. Namita says, I want to be a part of your sessions, irrespective. Amazing. Thank you. Okay. So, with everything we learn, we need discernment, right? When we purely operate from empathy, from understanding, forgiveness, giving, without discernment, we lose ourselves. We become stronger, but we also get weaker. So if you go to the gym and you keep working and you keep working and you keep working, there is endurance training in the gym, right? For muscles. But you keep doing it for say 4 or 5 hours, like if you keep weightlifting for 4 or 5 hours, then You're going to get weaker. You're going to damage your body. You think you're getting strong, but you're actually getting weak. And that's endurance. I can keep going longer. I can keep going longer. Tolerance is, this is how much I'm willing to do. And that's it. The quantity is tolerance. The time bound energy is endurance, right? So strength isn't about how much you can take. It's about discernment. This is one thing that most people lack. With virtues, we tend to have a lot of knowledge about things, but what we don't embody is discernment. For example, empathy isn't just about putting yourself in another person's shoes. It's about holding compassion for the person while knowing that they are responsible for their own reality. This is something we lack. Most people say, I want to work with this person, I want to help them, I want to cook food for them because I empathize with them. I've been through the same thing. They need support. But how much support? This is something healers learn, how to that you never ask a person to come for a session. You never ask a person how they're doing after they take the session. Some people do, I do. You never tell them, okay, you need 3 to 5 sessions unless and until they ask. In my case, even if people ask me, I give an alternative because sometimes you don't need. In the beginning, when we do a reading, it shows that the person needs, say, 5 sessions, but after the first one, something shifts because sessions are not time bound, they're not space bound. So after the session, we say, actually, you don't need any more. You're done. With the intention that you had, you're done. You don't need any. That's discernment. You want to know how to be happy while giving and not expecting anything in return. Okay, we'll come to this. And understanding the limit of giving to others as well as prioritizing myself. Right. Okay. That'll come in the healing bit. So when this discernment leaves our body, we think we're practicing understanding hard work and getting results, but we're actually not. The more effort I put in, the more I'm going to get back. The person's not seeing how much I'm giving to them. My partner's not seeing how much I'm doing for them. I wake up every morning and I do all of this, and they still don't have any gratitude, or they still take advantage of me. That's lack of discernment because you don't know when to stop, right? Discernment is not just about knowing, it's also about acting on it. So a virtue, we can download empathy into a person. We can download understanding into a person. I can understand you, but if I don't embody that understanding, embodiment is, if I don't embody that understanding, I will not be understanding and compassionate towards myself. That means we are actually not understanding of the other person either, because we have no idea what it feels like in the body. Because if you did, you would take a different approach. It's like I always say, if you did love yourself, you would know how to love another person, and you wouldn't experience half the problems you're experiencing today, right? Trauma is unique. You can tap a lot, you can work out, you can do a lot of somatic work, you can meditate, you can dig on beliefs if you do theta work. But what makes you stronger and have the ability to move forward is not a peaceful sound bath, right? It's not some good music. It's becoming very, very strong in your own values. So most people who message me, who have the repeated cycles happening, right, over and over again, the same patterns happening over and over again, they don't have strength. They don't have courage. Courage is important. You can go to the nutritionist, they'll give you a diet, and if you don't follow it, giving n number of excuses. Instead of, you can give an excuse, but you can always look for an alternative. This is giving an excuse and just leaving it, I'm not doing this again. And then you keep complaining about the same thing over and over again. That shows lack of strength, lack of courage. You're not taking action. You don't have the courage to take action to change your life. It does serve you to stay where you are, but you also lack courage. We usually only look at where it's serving us to be where we are. Courage is a big thing. Courage is what gets you to a point where you decide, okay, I'm going to make a change, right? So we lose ourselves because we never had ourselves in the first place. We never held those boundaries because we have no discipline and no discernment. We practice boundaries through guilt and through shame and past mistakes. So the bigger question here is, where do I need to take responsibility for my own life? Even if something in the collective is bothering you, there's a lot of drama going on in the collective, whether it's politics or war or anything else, you need to take responsibility. You're not passionate about what's happening to the world because you love and care about the people in the world. That's not at all what's happening. Empathy is not the thing, sensitivity is not the core of it. You're passionate about what's going on in the world and you want to create awareness because you have been wronged in the past and that's a story you're holding on to. You have felt wronged. Even if you watch someone go through injustice, you have felt it in your body. It feels like you are the one experiencing it. It has nothing to do with how much you care about the person. It has nothing to do with, bringing in justice and wanting to change the world. So we always give, we always create with an expectation. We are selfish. There's nothing wrong with that. But it'd be good if you were aware of what your intention is. Why are you giving in the first place? It's not about, okay, I will stop creating awareness. It's about where is it coming from? Okay. Naturally, if you are in the space of guilt or feeling wrong, not feeling like you experience justice and things like that, you will not be able to move forward in peace. You'll fluctuate. Balance will be overrated. So that there are a lot of people say, oh, there will always be waves of ups and downs. That's not what it is. We seriously lack emotional discipline. That's the reason why the ups and downs are happening so often. When the duration of, how often you fall sick, how often you get anxious, how often you get into into a space of overthinking. Overthinking is not the term, but how often you get into that space of worry, extreme worry. When that duration, when that gap increases, that's when you know you're actually healing, you're actually recovering. But if the waves have a similar, like every few weeks you're going through, a wave of up and then down and then up and then down, that's a lack of emotional discipline. Because our parents lacked emotional discipline and their parents lacked emotional discipline. They acted on their emotions, their feelings, not with discernment. Someone is sick in the family, I have to rush. I need to immediately give everything that I have earned. I had a session the other day and the person told me, I just took the money and I just gave everything that I had. All my savings are done. Where is the emotional discipline in that? Where is the emotional discipline in just giving into somebody else's drama and somebody else's story? It's because it's so that they keep quiet and we feel peaceful, even if it's for 1 hour. And that's what we've done as children. That's what our parents did as children to their parents. I just want to stop hearing the noise. So I'm just going to do whatever it takes to detach. It's not actually detachment, it is bypassing, emotional and spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing would be, I just want to get rid of this illness, so I'm just going to sit and meditate. I'm going to heal, I'm going to heal, and I'm going to keep healing and healing and healing. How many of you here do that? The healers. We lack emotional discipline, we lack patience, we lack tolerance. We cannot take pain at all, right? So the whole logic we use to explain for other people, to analyze, okay, they went through so and so problem. That's why I had to do this. That's why I felt like giving. Nobody was giving to them. I had a little bit, so I gave. That logic is something that is not what logic is, by the way. Logic is something that a lot of intuitives try to run away from. People in the spiritual field, self-help field, and all. We all try to run away from this whole concept of logic, thinking that logic means I need to analyze what I need to put myself in the other person's shoes, and I need to see these are probably what they went through. And these are probably what they're going through, and therefore I have to do all of these things to protect them or to protect myself. That's not logic. That's fear. That's survival. You're still thinking about yourself. We're never helping people because we want to help them. We're helping people because we're getting something out of it. Okay. Even I can admit to that. If I have a chat with someone, I'm definitely getting something out of it. Maybe I had to grow and learn. If I post a card reading online, if I used to do those pick a card readings and I used to do intuitive readings once in a while, I got to learn a lot about myself. I got to improve my psychic abilities while helping people. That's what self-love and purpose is. It's not about completely detaching yourself from your ego or detaching yourself from the world and disconnecting from the world. So the logic in that is having the discernment, following that gut instinct, following that intuitive feeling, and bringing it into practicality. My gut is telling me to leave this place. The logic is get up and leave. Walk out the door, open the door, and leave. That's the logic. The logic we as intuitive people talk about is having to explain ourselves to another person. That's the obligation. That's not logic. Logic is very pure, it's very perceptive. It's in harmony with our intuition, right? And we need logic to be discerning. We need logic to be aware of who might have the intention of using us and who might not. Are we good so far? So when we lose ourselves, what are the things we experience? Put it in the chat for me. What do you experience when you lose yourself? What does that mean to you? Pleasing everyone. Okay. Losing myself means not respecting myself. Okay. Prioritizing others' needs over your own. What do you experience though? Feeling wise, what do you experience? Immediate happiness followed by tired. Yeah. Okay. Pleasing anyone, putting myself first. Frustration, not worthy, sadness. Yeah. So some of the things you will experience when you lose yourself actually is burnout, exhaustion, frustration. Yes. You will experience confusion. You will experience anxiety. Some people have extreme anxiety. I know some people here have extreme anxiety. Some people want to pull their hair out. Have you met such people? There are people who pull their hair. That's because they have lost themselves. That's because of punishment. Sorry. Some people end up over explaining. Hyperproductivity, restlessness, shaking. Restlessness is also a lack of grounding because you have a lot of energy. But even then, it is because you lose yourself. When you have a lot of energy, it means your body cannot hold energy. So that also means that you have, it's like having less blood flow in the body. When you have less blood flow in the body, we shake, you shiver sometimes. It's the same thing with energy. So when there is less energy or less ability for that high level of energy to flow because of the limitations going on within the body, it starts shaking. That's restlessness, right? You had all this few years back. Yeah. Feel it sometimes, burnout, anxiety. Namita says, I did my karma and no one can now say anything to me. Yeah. Okay, we'll come to that. That's also part of this. I had all this few years back. Yeah. Same. Always explaining my actions even when not required. And that is usually interpreted as I am arguing. Yes. Because you are arguing. We are arguing. We are trying to get a point across. But mostly we're trying to convince ourselves that what we're saying is right. Because we don't believe in ourselves. We don't have a sense of value. And that's that's what's being projected. Right? That's the action. And what are we doing to get to this point of exhaustion, burnout, frustration, over explaining, hyperproductivity? What are we getting to get to this point of not having ourselves anymore, not being able to hold our own? There are many things. First thing is gossip. How do you react when you hear something? How do you feel in your body? Is it a heaviness? Is it a rush? So if I saw a social media post, there's a bombing happening. And so many people and someone I know and idealize has posted it. So now I have to immediately repost. Why? Because that one person said it. That's also gossip. That's what's happening. A lot of the times we share things out of that excitement, that rush, that charge that is there in the body is the charge of gossip. So, how do you react when you hear something? How does it feel in your body when someone says your your in-law, I heard something from your in-law that they're doing something to take your property away. I heard them talk to somebody about it. Who do you immediately feel like sharing that with, or just how do you feel in your body? Or it may not even be related to you, it could be related to something completely different, has nothing to do with you. But then you make it about yourself. That's what's happening in the world, politics and all. We make it about ourselves. It has nothing to do with us. No, I'm just wanting to, create awareness because we all need justice. What if this happens to us tomorrow? Why do you fear it happens? It'll happen to you. Okay. So gossip is one of the reasons um, everyone here has it. Okay. Everyone here is who's watching this and who's watching the replay. We've all got this energy. How do you react when you hear something? Is something you have to write that question down if you need to. Look at how you're feeling in your body. Don't instantly respond. Even if you resonate with something, oh my God, yes, I completely resonate with this. That charge is what eventually gets you to burnout or frustration or losing yourself. So everyone has this on some degree. The more you work on yourself, the more it release. Sometimes angry, aggressive, feeling dishonesty, backstabbing, emotional. Yeah, that's the charge, that's the emotional charge. You're feeling something. That feeling motivates you to take action, whether it's calling someone or just deactivating your account, eating food, needing to go for a walk, run. It's a charge. I'm not saying what you're doing is unhealthy, but this is purely for awareness. Second thing that we are doing to get into that space of losing ourselves is lack of rest. So, what's stopping you from taking rest? What's stopping you from taking a break, taking a vacation? You don't need money to take a vacation. You don't. You don't need you don't need a lot of resources to take rest, right? The third thing is stories. What happened in the past because of which I am now like this? That means you haven't learned your lesson. Sometime like 10 years ago, somebody backstabbed me and told me, behind my, in front of me, they said I'm very nice and very understanding and empathetic, and they really resonate with me. But they went behind my back and they told everyone else that I'm very annoying. Why are you still holding on to that story? And because of what happened that time, today I'm very disciplined. Today I'm very discerning. Today I'm like, I cannot trust anyone just like that. I'm very, very careful. Life is not about being careful. You cannot control people. You cannot control what they say. So that means you haven't learned from that mistake. If you truly learn from that mistake, you wouldn't say, because of that time, today I'm discerning. You can be discerning even otherwise. Nobody's stopping you from being discerning. Nobody's stopping you from being strong. You can be strong even without falling sick. You can be strong even without being taken advantage of many times. So what's going on is the lack of courage. This is where the lack of courage comes. Inability to tolerate. I can't tolerate nonsense. Why? Are you saying that you are 100% perfect? This portion is a little bit triggering, by the way. I should have given you a warning later, earlier. Okay. The next thing is staying in survival mode. Survival self is all about feeling obligated. It's the need of the hour. Without survival, we don't act. And that's the problem. Survival self says you have nothing to eat, you need to go get some food. So I will eat anything. I will even eat out of the trash because you're that sick. Your survival is threatened, right? But the problem with living in your survival self is tomorrow when you have a lot of food, you're not going to feel you won't feel grateful for it. You'll waste. You won't have discipline with how much you're eating, when you're eating. You just eat whenever you feel like eating. Same thing with sleep. Same thing with work. Same thing with money. Same thing with health. As long as it something does not kill me, it's fine. I will just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. That's not tolerance, that is endurance. It's not making you strong. It is, in fact, making you, for lack of a better word, very stupid. Okay. We have all done this. We all do this on some level. Okay. So, this is the space, the survival self is the space where that leads to procrastination, that leads to anxiety. We can't wake up in the morning every day and meditate, probably. That's because, so you can meditate even without having a problem. You can wake up on time, sleep on time, even without having something to work on. But the thing is, we get into a space of feeling a little better because we believe we pushed ourselves, we endured a lot. And so today, now that we have the abundance, we are not using it. We're not using it properly. Okay, which means we are not actually grateful. So the need to look good, smart, people please, all this is coming from needing to survive. A success mindset, on the other hand, is flow based. So you're always going to do no matter what, right? That's flow. You don't feel that intense fire, that charge in your body before you do something. You want to feel that charge even if you don't do it. That's how you know you're in a space of flow. I just not I just feel like doing it. It's just a part of my routine. Okay. That's something you can learn from people who are ignorant. They keep doing the same nonsense over and over again. They actually have discipline. They're just doing it because it's just a part, it's just a habit. So that's something we can learn from people who are ignorant. Being success minded also means you are value driven. And these are important so that you have yourself. You can have those healthy boundaries. Your boundaries will not come in if you sit to decide what you're going to do for someone else, what you need to do, what you have to do. Boundaries comes from what do I love doing? And love is not passion, love is just flow. It's just being there. Okay. And it's going to look different for different people. So you learn from the past rather than hold guilt. You don't hold on to stories, this space. Then we have lack of embodiment. You have knowledge, you preach it, you think it, but you don't embody it. You don't feel it. Parts of you still contradict each other. You will show up as an unapproachable person, sometimes even mysterious. People will not trust you, so you will shut down or you will overgive or both. I'll overgive and then I'll shut down. And then I'll bring my health back to normal and then I'll overgive again and then again I will shut down. It's cyclical in nature. Okay. So, and after all this, you'll get burnt out because you can no longer play someone you are not, right? It's coming from an inauthentic space. It's coming from a space where you are trying to convince someone of something that you don't even embody. You don't even know what that feels like. A lot of people talk about self love, but they have no idea what that feels like because it's, you cannot love someone else without actually loving yourself. You can go for a billion interviews and you will not get a job because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you're worth that talent. You're worth that money. You're worth having an employer. An employer is supposed to take care of you. You don't believe you're worth being taken care of. If you are constantly in your masculine energy, most people here are, everyone here is a woman. If you don't believe that you're worthy of being taken care of, you will not be taken care of. No matter how much you think you're caring for someone else. Okay? So look at these. There's a lot that I'm saying. I hope some you're taking notes because there's no presentation. So how long can you show up as a good, healthy friend when you're not a good, healthy friend? Because you have no idea what it means to be a friend. That embodiment reflects when I embody my worth, value, instead of just sharing Instagram posts, Facebook posts, WhatsApp forwards. I will no longer call in people to test me or my patience. That's what embodiment is. Otherwise, your reality will reflect people coming in just to test you. Have you learned this? People say this about the Mercury retrograde. Retrogrades happen to test you. No, you are testing yourself because you yourself don't believe that you've learned. You need some proof. You need proof, you need validation that you have grown. And that's okay, but it's good to be aware. Because if you're aware, you will not complain. you'll be at peace. Okay, this is something I asked for. Less worry. Awareness is always good. Okay. The next thing is unequal compensation. So here, compensation is about receiving for giving. Okay. I will not allow someone to, this comes with anger and frustration. Yeah, I will not allow someone to test me or to hurt me and things like that. It does come from anger and frustration. Because now all your energy goes into protecting yourself, into being so rigid, like you're clenching your fists like this. What happens when you hold something so strong for so long? You become fatigued, you become sick, you go through pain. So the only person you're hurting is yourself. Okay. Compensation. Compensation here is about receiving for giving, which is the first red flag. That's what compensation is, right? It's the first red flag. You don't need to receive from the same person or the same place, people, places that you give to. Nobody here is paying me for this webinar, but someone else might be buying me a gift that turns out to be great for my support, which means now I can show up more at my work, help more people. So we're always being compensated. We just don't know it, and we just don't realize it. Right? We will only be compensated as much as we give, because there is a law in the universe called the law of balance and the law of give and take. You will only be given to as much as you give from, right? And we will only be compensated as much as we'll only be compensated based on how we give. That's our intention. Not to that person or the situation, but to other people as well. What is your intention behind giving? Where does unequal compensation with a specific situation stem from? Do you know? Where does unequal compensation from like with a specific situation, like you're at a job, you're doing the work, you're getting paid? Relationships, yeah. Okay. But where does that unequal compensation stem from? Why are you not feeling compensated? You can expect to receive, and you can still receive. Expectation is not what is causing you to not get back in return. There's nothing wrong with expecting. It's actually a lack of balance. So if you intend to do something for work and you're not getting paid or you're not getting the job or client, it's a resistance, right? It is a resistance that you're having inside you to actually receive. So what does that resistance or that unequal compensation actually look like? Let's see that first. It looks like feeling left out in the cold, feeling cast out. It looks like your safety is threatened. Therefore, we need, again get into the survival mode. So we do just enough with a very, very painful intention. So I'll give this only because I feel like I have to. I just want to get rid of this person. I just want to get rid of this situation. That creates resistance. So you will not receive back. You will not receive back at all. If you have a painful intention to go look for a job, I need it, I need it, I need it, I don't have money, I can't do this, I can't do that, you will not get a proper job. The only time you'll get it is when you completely surrender and you realize your worth. You completely give up. Even then, the cycle will repeat because you actually haven't realized your worth. All you've done is surrendered. Okay. Another form the resistance shows up in is you save them so that you can save yourself. That's why we give. We give to people so that we get something in return. And when we're not getting something in return, It's because our intention was to save them. If they are okay, then now they can help me. That happens a lot in our relationships. It started in childhood. If I take on my parents' burdens, a toddler is thinking this. If I take on my parents' burdens, mom will not be distracted by other people's problems. She will now be able to look at me, love me, give me attention. And now she'll be able to save. That is saving, by the way. That is saving for the body. So if I save them, they will save me. And we repeat the same pattern with every person we meet. Okay, Urmi says you end up creating unrealistic boundaries out of frustration, more out of reaction. Yes. Rather than your own well thought of area of tolerance. Some things need boundaries, but some things need understanding your own behavior and contributes to the situation. Everything needs boundaries, and everything needs your own behavior's understanding. It's not just sometimes. But boundaries are not that fire, it doesn't have a charge. Like, I will not let anyone come through. That's not a boundary, that's a wall. That's resistance. A boundary is very soft. Okay, you don't want my help? Okay, fine. You want something, you can ask. That's it. No following up, no explaining why healing works, why meditation works, why you need to do an oath, nothing. We don't go and beg people to come and attend sessions and webinars and classes. If you resonate, you come. If you don't come. That way I allow you to take responsibility for your life and I take responsibility for my life. If no one's showing up, that's my responsibility. I need to look at myself. Okay? I'm not sitting here to save anybody. I'm not even sitting here to save myself. And that takes tolerance, that takes discernment. Why tolerance? Because even if it hurts for a bit, even if it makes me a little restless for a little bit, I'm still very, very authentic with my values. What's going to hurt me more is chasing, because I know I'm not going to get anything in return. The first one will get me on track very quickly and permanently. Okay. Now, where does this resistance stem from? It stems from not knowing your value in that field. If it's job related, in your relationship, if it is relationship related, it stems from not knowing your value with that money, with that role, right? It's also the fear of making up. It's the fear of repeating a past mistake. I did that last time. What if I repeat it again? Creates resistance. You block opportunities. So you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive the people you've seen do those things and have scared you, especially mom and dad. Okay? Do you not like what you're doing? Because if you don't like what you're doing, obviously you're going to lose yourself. You're going to create resistance. Courage to stop doing what you don't like doing, or you work on liking it. 2 years ago, when I did theta healing intuitive anatomy, the teacher said, see, you can either work on getting a new job. He was giving an example. Someone who is struggling at their current job and they're not able to find a new job. So you can either work on getting a new job or you can work on enjoying what you like, what you're doing currently. Because you can grow to enjoy things. Your choice. If you feel like you're stuck where you are, then you grow to enjoy it. Do the inner work to start to understand why you don't like what you're doing in the first place. Okay. Do you doubt yourself constantly? That creates resistance. I don't know if I can do it. What if I don't show up? What if I'm not on time? Okay. Do you do whatever you're doing out of obligation? You feel like you don't have a choice, so you have to. Survival mode. You're not going to get compensated. That is the reality. You can try as much as you want. It's not it's not going to change your reality. FOMO, fear of missing out. Are you doing something because you're afraid you're not going to be able to do it tomorrow or 10 years from now? Or everyone is going ahead and you're feeling left behind. This is one of the biggest ones. You see this trend in the hustle culture. I need to make money before I need to be a millionaire before I turn 30. Some people will say 40, some people will say 50. The younger generation says 30. I need to, I had a friend who said I need to retire by the time I'm 30. Creates resistance. It took a long time for that person to get a job. A really, really long time. And blocks will keep coming if that's your mindset. Because you're doing it from a very, very inauthentic space. Overdoing for people, yeah, seeking validation from others, having zero confidence in myself and questioning everything I do, people pleasing and apologizing unnecessarily, yeah. Because you are not, you don't know yourself, you don't trust yourself, you don't know your own value, and you're expecting your joy to come in from the outside. Nobody is going to fill that cup for you. Okay? Okay. The other thing it stems from, that resistance stems from is the other person should be afraid of losing me. Who said this? Somebody said this. Namrita? I think you said this. Let me see. I did my karma and no one else can now say anything to me. No, that was not it. Someone said something related to this. Okay. So I'm going to work on myself and I'm going to build an empire. I'm going to be so happy so that others are afraid of losing me. Only then will they learn my value. I'm going to get up and leave, only then will others learn my value. You will not get compensated. You will not receive love. Forget about the love you deserve. You don't even know what you deserve. You don't even love yourself. And you don't know how to love another person. So what you're actually saying is the other person does not deserve love. The other person does not deserve to be held and to be supported and all of that. Okay. So others should be afraid of losing me. Then the need to control. This is the number one reason we lose ourselves. Because we want to control or punish someone, it's usually the parent or the partner, by having resistance. By not being compensated, we are wanting to prove something to the world. We need to be honest with ourselves. It's going to be different for different people, different in different cases as well. Mom says I say that all the time. Yes, we a lot of people say that. It's coming from lack of awareness. Because in that moment we are so hurt. It's not to actually curse the other person, but you're so hurt and you're so helpless that you say that or you feel that in the body. But what we have to understand, it's not just an in the moment speech that's coming out. It has always been there. It's been going on in the body for a very long time. And it comes out only in that moment when, it's things are so bad. So all of this is basically needing to control what is going on the outside. That's why we go through suffering or we feel like we're suffering. It's purely related to needing to control the external because you feel unsafe. So if I can save you, if I can make sure you're okay, then tomorrow you'll be there for me in a way that I want you to be, in a way that I tutored you to be. I don't accept you the way you are. I want to mold you so that you fit into my reality. And so you will only meet people who you feel are trying to change you and try to make you fit into a box. Such people exist, but they don't have to be inside your life. Okay. The inner work for this is easier said than done. But the awareness is important because that's the first thing that will get you into conscious decision making. Okay, so how do you get out of this funk? First thing is discernment. Why aren't you listening to your gut? Your gut is telling you something, you're not listening. How do you know it's your gut feeling? Look back to a time when you were hurt. When you said that I had a feeling in the beginning, but I didn't have any proof. So I went with it, and now this has happened. I was right all along. The simple trick here is to look back on when you made that mistake. That's and how did you feel in your body when you made it? Or what was that voice? What was that gut feeling? Was it a voice? Was it a knowing? Was it a sensation in your body? Did a part of you just sink? That's your intuition. So if you haven't healed enough, it might that intuitive feeling might feel uncomfortable, like some kind of indigestion or rigidity in the body or something, but it's usually a silent voice or change in the air. Like I feel like the air is suddenly closing in. I feel like I'm in vacuum or in space. Or if it's fear related intuition, which is the thing. So look back and see what was your intuition, what was the voice of your intuition, and that will tell you, okay, not this person, not right now, I need to get up and leave. So that your intuition, my intuition is very, very connected to my logic. Okay, that's why I'm able to teach. That's why I'm able to host sessions. But this was not the case before. Before I did not know how to communicate. I did not know how to stand up for myself. I didn't have the courage to do that. So look for signs. Your body will tell you. Then you act accordingly. Okay. So both, um, sorry. One is this. The second thing you can do is be very conscious with your intentions. Before giving to someone else, set a conscious intention on what you want to get out of it. That's a practice. It requires courage, it requires compassion, it requires patience. That's why I always ask everyone who's attending a session or a class, what is your intention? Set the intention. Because if you set the intention, the universe will not take you for a ride. Energy needs a direction. If you consciously decide which direction you want to send it to, then that's great. But if you just let it be, sometimes it's good to let it be. If you're very hyper focused and you have ADHD and all that, it's good to just let things be. Sometimes you need to be very, very direct. Most times you need to be very direct, very clear on what is it that you want when you're giving something. This is not about receiving, it's about giving. What do you want to get out of it? Consciously set those intentions. It's not selfish. If it is, then we're all selfish. It's self love. It's conscious creation, it's conscious manifestation. That's what all of this is. Okay. And the third thing I have very recently accepted, noticed earlier, recently accepted is your vitamins. So, vitamins are about self love. If you don't have enough self love, the body will not absorb vitamins. If you don't have enough vitamins, your body will not absorb self love, how much ever inner work you do. So, increase your vitamins and work on your self love at the same time. That's actually the quickest way because if you do inner work on a regular basis, you will see an immediate shift when you have a supplement. I'm speaking from experience. This happened to me a few days ago. Sometimes you're just not drinking enough water, you're not getting enough air, you're not having enough minerals and vitamins. When it comes to self love, it's vitamins in the body, right? So that's it for today. We were supposed to have a meditation. If you all have time, you can stay back. Otherwise, you can listen to the recording. And we need about 20 minutes for the meditation. This is going to be a clearing to clear all the junk of people pleasing and discernment. Of course, this is a group healing, so be aware that you may have to work on yourself as well, but you'll be guided. So don't worry about it. If you're ready, you can sit back, relax, close your eyes. You can drink some water if you want. I'm going to drink some water. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Imagine you're one with your chair or your bed, wherever you're sitting. Now expand your awareness to the room that you're in, all the furniture, the floor, the sounds, the air. Invite everything. And now expand your awareness to the building that you're in, all the people in it, animals, plants. And expand your awareness to the country that you're in. And now expand your awareness to the entire planet, all the oceans, the seas, the birds, the places you love visiting, the places you want to visit, dolphins, the whales, the water, everything. Just expand your awareness just by noticing the existence of all of these beings outside of you. And now expand your awareness to all the planets, the solar system, the Milky Way, beyond our Milky Way, all the universes, into a beautiful, bright white light. You don't need to see, feel, sense. You can just know that you are part of all, the part of all that exists. You're one with everything that exists, right? And in this space, just give me the permission. You can just say yes in your mind or out loud to clear your space and to fill you with unconditional love. The permission to also scan you. Okay, thank you. You can just imagine a waterfall of white light falling over your head. Breathe that in. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to download you with is the virtues of flexibility and adaptability. Without flexibility and adaptability, you cannot find courage. You cannot move through situations and challenges. You cannot grow from them. So, if you're facing a resistance in any aspect of your life, it's because you lack flexibility and adaptability. So, would you like to know what it feels like to be flexible and adaptable and to be able to move through challenges with ease and with grace, with discernment? If you like this, just say yes. Thank you. Next thing I'm seeing is a lot of your energies are scattered. It's with so many other people. So can we call that back? Everything that you have given to others. So these will be in your office space, your home, in your kitchen, your washroom, your bed, uh, your phone, your laptop, computer, your friends, your partner, your parents. Thinking the your TV shows. If you went out and you ate food, all of those places, or if anywhere you think about other people, you remember other people. Let's bring all of you back into your body. If you'd like this, just say yes, and just imagine all that light coming back. You'll see it reattached to your eyes, your forehead, your ears, your heart, your stomach, wherever it's coming. Let it just become one again with your body. And breathe through this. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. You don't have to worry. Everything is being done for you. Now I want you to look back to a time when you made a mistake that you still feel guilty about. You may have multiple things show up, like you chose the wrong job, you said something that got you in trouble and you lost the job. You got sick because you spoke to somebody. You saw someone take a decision because of which you feel guilty. You bought a course and you did not follow through, and now you don't want to invest in anything else. You went to the doctor, you invested in something and it didn't work for you. Where did you invest your energy, money, time, conversation, but you didn't get something in return, or it wasn't as you expected, and you're still holding on to that? Just, you may have a flash of memories. Allow it to show up in front of you. It could be 2 days from today, like 2 days ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, from a time you don't remember. It could be the mistake of somebody else, like a parent. What were you supposed to learn from that situation, from that experience? Positively. Was it to learn to trust someone, even if they betrayed? Was it to learn to trust someone? Was it to learn how to be discerning, how to have a boundary, how to accept support, even if the support wasn't from the right person? Was it to learn how to give something a chance? What's the good thing you learn from that experience? It could be multiple things. You don't have to understand what it means or make sense of it. Just allow. Can I release that you need to experience guilt and you need to punish yourself? You need to constantly punish yourself and hold on to this guilt of investing your energy into something, and hold yourself back from abundance in the future or in the present, abundance of love, of support, of health, of being stress free, of having freedom, being able to go anywhere, meet the people you want, abundance of having money, of someone providing for you, someone taking care of you. Can we teach you that you can have all this abundance without going through that guilt and that suffering, without holding on to the fear of repeating that mistake again? And anyway, you believe it was a mistake, let's release it. Just say yes so that this is done for you. Thank you. Let's also teach you that you can embody fascination, exploration, adventure in the highest and best way without the fear of missing out, without the fear of being too late. That you can embody fascination in every aspect of your life, at every moment. Just say yes. Thank you. And let's energetically detach you. You'll see this, all these cords being cut from all those situation, places, those memories. They no longer hold any power over you. So let's bring back your power, and I'm just gonna ask the creator to cut those cords that are keeping you stuck in poverty in any aspect, in lack, in fear, keeping you stuck in not showing up for yourself. So you can see a lot of these cords being pulled out of you or just being cut. Um, Maybe it's from your solar plexus, your stomach, your diaphragm, from your back, from your neck, wherever it is being pulled out from, just allow it. For a lot of you, it's from your thighs, your stomach. It's being done for you. These cords are attaching you to those situations and similar situations. It's keeping you safe. So let's teach you that you can be safe without these attachments. And breathe through it. Let's teach you what it feels like to receive equal or more compensation for what you give from that specific situation. Because you will be compensated more from a different space. Other people will give to you what is for your highest good. Okay. So let's teach you that you're able to receive with ease and grace without feeling obligated to give back. Yeah. Some of you, these cords are still releasing from your pelvic area. That is a lot to do with fear and safety. So let's send more. Breathe in to that space. There's a lot of grief there. So let's release the grief. You can just say yes, and this will be done for you. The grief of putting in so much effort, now I have to leave. Even if it is healthy for me to do so, it feels very painful. Let's release that. It doesn't have to feel painful. Let's teach you that letting go can be easy. You don't have to grieve your old self or All that, all those stories, all that drama, we don't need it. Let's teach you what it feels like to make life simple, that you can experience luxury and simplicity, that you know how to rest, you know how to live without gossiping, without engaging in gossip. That's a big one. Let's teach you how to live without needing chaos. Anywhere you believe you need to, that you feel safe in chaos, that you are productive, most productive when you work last minute or when you're stressed. Let's pull those beliefs. That's not true. It's just going to hurt you more. Let's also teach you how to live without needing to be hyper productive. You can be productive without being hyper productive. You can balance it with rest without needing to prove anything to anyone. Life is not about being productive. It's just about exploring and being. You don't actually need to know your purpose or have goals or anything of that sort. Just be. These things help you channel your energy when you have a lot of it. But when you are super healed, you'll just be. And that being is your purpose. Your purpose will just activate through that. Let's teach you how to stop being an influencer and be inspirational instead. And let's also teach you to get how to live without desperation, that you can live without desperation and instead live through inspiration. You act through inspiration. What inspires you to feel good about yourself? What is that positive light inspiration? So let's teach you that that's how you can live. That can be your new motivation. Influence is trying to change people. We don't need that. We love them as they are. If we are not compatible with them, we can leave. They can leave. Let's also teach you the virtue of courage. You know when to have courage. You know when to act from a space of courage and how to embody all that you say, all that you preach, all that you want to be, that you're able to embody it, that you have the courage, the discipline, the knowledge to embody all of it. Okay, breathe that in. It looks good now. Everybody's space looks very bright. We're going to imagine a beautiful white light coming in from the top of our head all the way down our body, down our legs, down into the core of the earth, and let it anchor there into the core of the earth. Like a rod, it's just fixed there. Now you can rub your palms together, stay in this energy, rub your palms together, cup your eyes, blink your eyes open, and when you're ready, you can take off your palms from your face, take a deep breath, and relax. Let me know in the chat how you're feeling, what you saw, what were your lessons. For most of you, the healing went directly into your brain, so it had to do with your perception, but also chemical imbalance. Chemical imbalances happen. That's why a lot of people get into depression very often, or anxiety very often. So that's something to just be aware of. The way you can deal with chemical imbalance is basically your emotions are haywire. When you work on yourself, that does balance out, but have your supplements. It's very important. Ancestrally, if someone had a mental health issue. You could be carrying that. You may not fully experience it, but you could be carrying bits of that, which causes you to perceive things in a very, hateful manner, blame based manner. That everyone's out to get me, nobody wants me to be happy, everyone's blaming me. When you do repeated, inner work, and when you look at things for a very long time and things are not shifting, there might be a chemical imbalance. So drink more water. If you're a healer, you can balance your left and right brain. Um, there are plenty of Reiki videos online on YouTube to balance all the chemicals in your body. It could also be because of overexposure to sunlight or overexposure to radiation technology, or constantly asking for information, answers, constantly thinking what next, what next. That can also cause chemical imbalance. Yeah, that's all I'm getting now. So Namrita says, it was awesome as always. I felt pull at the center of the forehead for quite some time. Yes, that's the energy. That's what I saw as well. That's good. Thank you. Sheena says, thank you so much. Okay. If I start writing, I will have a lot. Okay. But I learned a lot. Like where I'm stuck, I felt I released a lot of cords with the past and people. I also had a great wave. One second. I also had a great wave of happiness as I learned some of the things you said, because it came as a realization that I had not seen for some time. Yeah. Good. I have a lot more to say. Right now, you're just stuck and want to say this, want to stay in this happiness. That's good. Stay in the happiness. Stay in this energy. You are still connected. So make sure you don't do anything that will bring you down, at least for a good 30 to 45 minutes. Don't go crazy with, I need to do this. I have so many things to do, because then you will manifest that. Okay. But we're good right now. We did ground the energy. So you should be fine. Feeling a renewed strength and confidence that you can do the healing. That's great. That's great. I had a heart pull too. Okay, so if you don't know a healing modality, by the way, just Google the work. I forgot who wrote it. Does anyone remember who wrote the book? The work. She's got 4 questions. Actually, I can check as well. Um, to do inner work, to bust limiting beliefs. Read the book or read the article. It's by Byron Katie. Okay. The work. It's 4 questions that will immediately shift your beliefs. The other thing you can do is the Ho'oponopono. That will only release what is in your body, but because emotions are chemicals, the body will regenerate those emotions. That's why we say, even if you do a lot of digging work without actually shifting, without actually, having the awareness, if you tap, if you do somatic workouts, if you do breath work, even, with nutrition, diets, and things like that, you may not see a shift for a very long time, or you may see a shift for now, and then it'll be very temporary, maybe for like 3 to 4 years, and it'll come back. And we call it cycles, but actually, the body regenerates emotions. Emotions are chemicals in the body, and that will regenerate because the belief work hasn't been done. The You haven't actually understood what's really going on. Tolerance is not there. Tolerance is very important. We need to be strong enough to take on challenges. In the sense, we need to have self trust that we can move through it no matter what. I have myself, and therefore I can do it. That doesn't mean running into a challenge. It's not about running into fire. Have the discernment. Some things are, it's just not worth your time and your energy. You've already gone through it. Why do you want to go again? right? Okay. Feeling a renewed strength. I had a heart pull too. I could visualize the cords being pulled out. It felt good, emotional, but was able to let it all go, feel lighter. So you might experience more things, right? All of you might experience more things because when it comes to this kind of work, forgiving yourself, a lot of grief will come up. So you may get annoyed, you may get angry. Be aware it's because of this. It's releasing. So channel it. If you need to journal, if you need to run, go for a walk, channel it. Don't throw it on somebody else. But they will come and trigger you. People will trigger you. Know that it is what's going on inside your body. That energy is starting to move and it needs to release. So you know that all those emotions are what you felt. I felt cheated. I felt unloved. I felt like I was not seen. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to do anything. Just allow it to be processed. Okay. And drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Okay. I feel relaxed again. A lot of insights. Most welcome. Okay. Thank you everyone for sharing and for being a part of this. I'll share the recording via email. It will be up on YouTube as well in a while. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see you for the next one. And there might be one happening next week at 6 in the morning, Dubai time. I felt like doing it 6 in the morning. Okay. If you feel called to it, you can attend. There will be a replay, but that's the topic for that is overcoming the need for having a toolkit, quick results, quick tools, tips, tricks to help you move forward. Today I'm not able to talk. My jaw is hurting a lot. I'm going to end the session here. Thank you all so much.